Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Sharp Talk and the first one ever that is live. I don't know if we're going to do this every single week. Depends how well it goes, I guess. But if you guys want to check it out live, if you're listening after the fact, you can find us on Twitch at Sharp Talk and hop in for the live stream and, go ahead and chat with all of us. Anyhow, I'm Tom Hosang, a.k.a. Tom Hosang Outdoors on YouTube. I'm joined today by Steve, a.k.a. Super Steel Steve on YouTube, Gerald, a.k.a. Outpost 76 on YouTube, and Alex, who doesn't have a YouTube channel yet. Is it still in the works, Alex? Still 2 minutes?
Stop that. Stop every episode, and he does not have a YouTube channel yet.
But he does have an Instagram at Alex_Knifebox where he showcases his extensive collection. So you guys should go check that out.
Yeah.
First off,
his first video.
First off, let's get into what's everybody carrying today.
Beer.
I mean,
Gerald, what you carrying, Gerald? That sweet ass Chamonix yours?
No, some 100 times better.
Ooh, M4 Manix.
Yeah, that's sweet.
M4 Manix and 4V Para 3.
You just swimming in the V's today, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Backstroke.
Not this sorry excuse for a sprint run.
What do you got, Alex?
I got the Browns Exponent.
Nice. That was a new
this morning.
Nice.
And it's got a Timascus backspacer and clip, and it is quite lovely, although it's hard to open.
That's a front flipper, right?
Or lack of flipper in the front.
It looks like it operates. It's just a little tricky. You got to do some finger gymnastics for that one.
Well, I'm good with it now, but it took me 20 minutes. I'm pretty proficient with front flippers. But yeah.
All right, Steve, what are you carrying today?
Oh, today, my incredibly well QC'd Spartanco lightweight, incredible drop study action.
It's fantastic. For those of you listening,
and
you're gonna have to take my word for it. It's beautiful. It's perfect.
This is a flawless design out of the box right there. You can go check my YouTube channel, something that Alex knows nothing about, and you can actually see how fucked up it was. And I'm also carrying the Microtech SOCOM Elite 2018 version because that's the best version.
Very nice.
Because I say so.
All right, I'm carrying BJ's large Sebenza Insingo that he loaned me for this week to check out a large. I figured out that the large Sebenza wasn't for me, but I fell in love with something else that I'll get into here in a little bit. With that being said, what does everybody have that's new?
New?
Yep.
Oh, I got new shit. Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Look at you, Steve, actually buying something for once.
Well, I didn't buy any of it. It was trades.
You traded it.
I've been in trade mode for like 3 weeks. Speaking of BJ, traded BJ for this right here. This is his Gale Bradley 2
Very
with
nice.
a redonkulously sexy acid wash. Funny thing about this knife's been sharpened about a dozen times, and it's still 17 thousandths behind the edge.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the reason, and that's how you do a hollow grind.
Yes, sir.
And I picked up a
favorite.
knife in a trade. I actually traded my Manix M4, sorry, Gerald, to Southern Blades on Instagram for a knife I've been eyeballing for many years and never actually bought. The Domino.
Oh, good job.
What do you think of that one?
This is all right, bigger than I thought it was going to be in every good way I could mean that. This is a great knife. I will not be getting rid of this knife. I dig this knife a lot.
Love the Domino.
Dude, but this is a very, 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 I dig this knife.
Does it remind you guys a lot of the Manix?
No.
No, because I'm not as much of a fan as the Manix. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know if I look at it. I don't know.
I guess Gerald would be the one to ask about that.
Yeah, he's the Manix.
It is like a smaller, better done Manix.
That's what, I had one too. I thought it was more like a flipper Manix is what it felt like to me.
I'll agree with him on that. I'm not a huge Manix fan. It's a good knife. I got nothing wrong. I've had 4 of them. Nothing wrong with them, but I dig this one better. Even though it's a little smaller, you can still get a whole. I dig this knife. I dig this.
Have you guys gotten a behind the edge measurement on those? Because I felt like when I had mine, it was like stupid thin.
I did. This one, it's got a 17-degree bevel on it, and this at the center point was 14 thousandths behind the edge. I can bend it if I push hard enough. You can feel it flex. This XHP, I can feel it when I push on it right there.
It felt stupid thin, and that was back when I had my KME, and when I sharpened that for the first time, that edge came up stupid sharp.
I can't wait to shine it.
The thing I think is awesome about that knife is A, it's a frame lock. That's pretty cool for Spyderco. And then B, I'm sure we can all agree, if we've all handled one, the positive angle on the flipper tab, I mean, gives it such a reliable flip. It's ridiculous.
Agreed.
It's at a perfect angle.
Yeah, I've heard people talk about a lot of Spyderco flippers not being so well. I'm not hugely experienced, but this one, I mean, if you're watching the podcast, I'm doing the banner 24/7 thing right here. Ryan, look at what you taught me. Watch this. Look at what you showed me. So the perfect 10 or 6 to 12. Yeah, I got it. Whatever. Yeah, Alex is like 100% spot on. That thing, I got to try to make it not flip. It's a dope knife.
That's the way I felt with mine too. I've handled quite a few of Spyderco's flippers at this point. I had a Southern, I had the Domino, I tried a what are those? The sliver racks. Yeah. That one was terrible, by the way. But weird. The Domino was the best one I've found. It flips like a ZT, honestly.
Yeah, this thing's like you don't even try; it just goes.
It's nice. What are you getting for a measurement there, G?
Oh, I'm on a Bradley 1.
I gotcha.
He's like, I'm ahead of you guys.
He's measuring everything he owns.
Like Steve was saying, even the hollow grind on this is ridiculous. This thing way up is still under 15 thousandths behind the edge.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
This one's
lots of life in that knife.
All right. Anything else new, Steve? We got a little sidetracked.
No, that's how you do a hollow grind, ladies and gentlemen. Hollow grind does not mean thinner. it just means more life.
You got anything new, Gerald?
Yeah, I did. I gotta see where I put it down here.
It's hard to see behind that mask.
I don't know what model it is, but I tested Kurt's, and Kurt bought me one of these for the first Tucson 12C27 was. Like TS124 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You digging it?
Oh, yeah, look.
Wow. I've heard some great things about Tucson. All right, Alex, we already know that you got that brown Exponent that's new. Anything else new?
So I got I actually used to have a Michael Ziba Angry Bird S4 in copper. I sold it to a friend to buy a Shirogorov, and I've missed the knives ever since. So I actually bought Jim Skeleton's copper S4 this week, and It's got some rose gold inside the clip. So that should be arriving pretty shortly. I traded my Hoback CKF collaboration today, and I'm getting a Trevor Berger custom front flipper.
Very nice. I think you'll really like that one.
Yeah, that one's rad. And then I got the Exponent, and I got a Microtech SOCOM prototype Marfione version.
Nice.
Getting
shipped out on Monday.
Yeah, the pictures of that thing was gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's the knife you got that's just like badass.
I got a killer deal on it too. I only paid $600 for it.
Those things go for way more than that.
It was $1,200 new.
Yeah, I was gonna say those things are over $1,000 new.
But this is the second knife I bought from this guy. He sold me the 777, and then I saw he's trying to liquidate because he's getting into a whole other realm of custom knives than even I'm in, like Dalibor, 2-3 gram knives. He's liquidating a bunch of crap, so I scored.
Fuck yes.
BJ just said Gail Bradley too.
Gail Bradley, hey, BJ's on. BJ! Right, BJ. I love your knife. I love this ass. Well, I mean mine now, but I love it. I've been kicking the shit.
All right.
Tom?
So, first off, I just ordered a Chris Reeve large Inkosi yesterday. I was going to get the, I think it's the knife ship free version that has the nice red micarta. It was gorgeous. But they only had it in drop point. I wanted the Insingo, which is very unfortunate. I don't even know if they make that one with the Insingo blade shape. I didn't see any.
You know what? Before we continue, one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why in the world did you sell the Brian Nadeau?
Okay, so that was next.
Get him, Alex.
So here's the thing. I love the knife. The knife was perfect. I have no bad things to say about it. It's just flippers never last in my collection. And I think part of it is when I bought that knife 6 months ago, my tastes were different than what they are now. I mean, in 6 months, that's a decent amount of time for your taste to kind of shift.
But you loved it last week.
I did love it. I was in the honeymoon phase, bro. I still liked it. Like it was like fantastic. What, Steve?
6 months was your honeymoon?
No. Like I liked the design of it back then, and I still like the design of it now. But I don't know, the flipper things, they just never last with me for some reason. Every single flipper I've ever owned has been sold. And I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. I actually made $25 off of it to carry it for a week because they're all sold out at Blade HQ now. So, I mean, I got to carry it, flip it, make a couple videos on it, and the guy who's getting it is going to be very, very happy. Also sold it to fund the large Inkosi. But I also sold my small Sebenza to fund the large Inkosi as well. So I liquidated a good chunk of like the high-end portion of my collection this weekend to try and make room for the large Inkosi. But I ended up just going with the plain one. I had a buddy of mine who brought one into the shop that I work at, and he put it in my I know I'm a basic bitch. I didn't want to pay another $100 for 3 little pieces of micarta to be glued onto my knife.
Gold inlays, bro.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyhow.
I don't know. I always thought inlays were flush, not proud from the scale.
Now, every Chris Reeve I've ever had has had inlays. So this is my first one that's going to be plain. But
Kenny over in the pocket, he was telling me those inlays add a lot of grip when
they
you come
do.
around.
I agree. A buddy of mine brought one into the shop, and I handled it, and it was like the angels were singing. It was like perfect in my hand. Both finger grooves fit perfectly in my hand. I like the little bit of a thumb ramp, almost like a less aggressive Spyderco. It was just perfect. But
all right, enough Tom. Go for it. What'd you get?
For the knife that I picked up today that I've been keeping a secret from all of you guys, it's a knife that I think that every knife collector should own, and I can't believe I haven't owned one to this point. Swiss Army knife.
Oh, come on. Of course.
Swiss Army knife. Everyone should own one. I've never had one.
The whole time for a goddamn
I did.
stack.
I did.
Here. Stack for you to look at.
Bro, but it's got 2 blades. It's got 2 blades.
Slip joint, didn't I?
What did you say?
Slip joint.
You did. Technically, it is. See, but like it could be any.
Don't deny me.
Oh my God, Steve. BJ says SOCOM deep throat.
Yes. Like 9 inches. It's a lot.
I don't know. I'm excited to have a Swiss Army knife in the rotation now to carry with me. Anyhow, that's enough of what I know. That's enough of what I've picked up and sold and all that drama. Any of you guys sell anything recently?
Sell? Oh, I've
Mhm.
sold shit. Traded, but not sold anything. Ain't making no money.
I traded the Quay back, and then I ended up selling. I sold my Grant and Gavin Hawk Orbit.
I
It's
wish I would have had the
good.
funds for that because that is one that I've always wanted.
You know, a lot of people say that, but I don't know, man. It's a great knife. I like the mechanism and everything, but it was just I didn't love it.
Ooh, that's a rare knife, G.
I liked it a lot, but I didn't love it. So it's actually leaving tomorrow to go to Germany.
Germany.
That's a long way away.
The guy really wanted it, man. He says I can't get him out here. I rarely see him for sale, and he offered me $100 more than what I was asking for it.
Well, you can't beat that. I would have taken that offer as well.
Fucking around, huh? He was like, I feel so bad for the guys over in Europe, man. They can't get fucking shit over there.
I know.
I feel so bad for them. Like, the prices are so inflated and they can't get shit. They can't. I talk to guys in Europe a lot on Instagram. They hit me up because of the channel, and they get shafted, dude. Shafted. Like, shafted hard.
They do for some reason.
Big old dick.
The laws are terrible there.
Or was Germany? It's like it's archaic. Germany, it's like Gestapo type shit. Those guys, I feel bad.
All right, I think that's pretty much it for all the intro stuff. Let's go ahead and get on into the main topic of today's episode. And I think Alex is pretty much going to head the discussion this week after we've pretty much just made him listen the past 2 weeks about the Steel Talk.
The Steel Talk was great. I loved it. I learned tons of stuff.
I think a lot of people like it, but honestly, I mean, with all four of us here, I felt like you were a little bit left out on that, not being, someone who tests that kind of stuff and all that. I felt bad for you at some points. I was like, man, Alex hasn't talked in a while.
Oh no, man, it's good. I'm just sitting here having a beer.
He's just soaking it up.
Exactly. Learning all this stuff so I can talk smack on Facebook groups and
Hey, I've seen you in the Facebook groups dropping some knowledge.
Yeah. No, you know what?
That's what I want them to do.
Exactly. And plus, it's opened my eyes. I'm already looking at knives differently than I used to since I've been hanging out with you boys. So that's fun. But I guess I'll kick off with the knife news. How's that sound?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'll start with, we can discuss a few models that I noticed this week. And I will start with the Spyderco Dragonfly with the Emerson Wave.
I need that kind of tactical deployment when I cut open my daughter's gummy worms. Here you go, babe.
I feel like that was everybody's reaction when they first saw that in the Amsterdam releases. I just laughed. I was like, why?
I'm hoping it doubles as a bottle opener because I'll buy one just to have one as a bottle.
I'm sure you could.
It's the stupidest shit I've ever seen. The knife is. I have one. It's that big. It's
they're gonna sell.
It's a great knife. It's a knife that I people that don't usually carry knives that are looking for a pocket knife, I recommend that knife a lot because it's you don't even know it's in your pocket. But a wave opener out of your you're gonna wave open out of your coin pocket.
Yep.
Here's my question about the knife. So this thing's like yay long. Everybody knows what a Dragonfly is, right?
Yep.
Now it's a backlock knife, right?
Mm-hmm.
So most wave opening knives that I know of don't have. There you go, perfect example. So you put a wave on this thing, plus it's got the tension of a backlock on it.
Mm-hmm.
How's that gonna feel when you pull it out of the pocket?
They have the Delica and Endura waved.
That's
Those I have two of those in my shop that I work at, and they feel fine. They feel like any other one, but they're not quite as smooth as like a liner lock or frame lock would be.
Well, like my Endura, I have a wave Endura, but the blade is so big, the back lock is nice and loose on it, so it's nice and smooth. On a knife that's short, that'd be interesting to see what it's going to feel like.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
The the same knife is also coming out in a Wharncliffe version, which I actually think is pretty cool.
Me too. I'm excited for that one.
That is a cool idea. The Wave, no thanks. The Wharncliffe, yes please.
If they release a Warney in either ZDP or like a sprint run like Hap 40, I'll be all over that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Any more on the thoughts on those knives, guys?
A lot of people dig Warnies, huh? That's kind of unanimous here, right? Warnies are pretty titties.
Yep, absolutely.
Can I jump in while we're still on the Spyderco train, Alex?
Oh, we got plenty more Spyderco stuff to talk about. So.
Did you see the Volume 2 releases that came out 2 or 3 days ago?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about a couple of those knives.
Sweet. I'll interject when we're about done with those, because there was a model in there I'm super excited for.
Which one?
I think a Dragonfly with a Warnie, you're talking like your best box cutter ever.
That's
Definitely.
exactly what I was thinking.
I'm excited for the Urban in AEBL.
Oh,
If they
nice.
heat treat
Yes,
that perfectly, that will be badass.
I saw that. That was pretty cool. I think it's a brown handle too, you know, like a nice
that coyote brown.
Yeah, that's cool.
Not excited, Steve?
No, AEBL is a steel that is very, very, very often misheat treated.
Isn't it basically 13C26?
It's exactly 13C26. I want to say it's got like 0.01% more of something. It's just a trademark name, ABL versus 13C26. ABL is a Sandvik name or somebody else, whatever it is. Somebody, they changed some insignificant number to make it.
It's one of the first nitrogen infused steels, is it not?
There's no nitrogen in AEBL. 14C28N, which is the next kind of progression, has some nitrogen in it. ABL has none. ABL is very similar to 12C27. Just for kind of, it's got a little bump in chromium or a little bump in carbon, and I think a little less chromium. It's a little more knife steel oriented. But yeah, it gets ran soft a lot.
Yeah.
And if you ask Gerald, because he'll second me on this, a lot of times smaller blades tend to get run at lower heat treats than larger blades, at least with Spyderco. And that Reuben is little.
Yep,
And all
it's like just barely bigger than a Dragonfly.
Barely big. All I see is that thing coming in at like 58. I mean, it'd be fine. It's a tiny little knife. I don't want to get too hyped up with like making every steel like a super steel, but I don't know. Bring back the K390.
Oh, right, dude. If I can get my hands on one of those K390 Urbans, I'm probably gonna buy one.
Dog, they do the K390 again. ABL.
Especially after seeing Triple B with some of his videos on K390, it looks like some impressive stuff.
K390's always been it's like 10V. It's a low chromium, super high carbide steel. It goes real high. The Police 4, I've got one here that Kurt poked. It's at 65 and change HRC.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's gonna get ran against Max Cement and Rex 45.
Speaking of these high performance steels, did you guys see the post? I forget who posted it. I think it might have been Shirogorov with M398.
Yeah, no, that was Roman from K.
I think I originally saw it mentioned by Shirogorov though.
Oh, cool.
I know that he made a post on it, but did you see the chemical content of it?
I have seen this M398. I've been aware of M398 for a little bit. I understand.
Jesus.
Yeah, it could be something cool, or it could not. If Spyderco gets a hold, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Chill, relax. I don't hate Spyderco. No, it could be awesome. It could be a badass. It totally could be.
The vanadium content of that steel is just unreal.
It's up there. The carbon
it was like 15%, and carbon was like 2.7% or something like that.
It's up there. It could be cool. That's all I'm saying. It could be cool.
It also could be very, very brittle.
It could just fall apart.
Yep.
It's supposed to have a finer grain than M390. I might be thinking of a different one than the one you saw. But yeah, it could be dope. It could be dope. It could be shit.
There was like another CPM 1 something V2. All right, Alex, what other knives we got?
All right. I think Gerald's finally going to talk on this one. There's the new Spyderco Shaman coming out in carbon fiber and S90V. You guys seen that?
I'll let Gerald talk on this one first.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. It's coming in at about $280, so it's actually more than the M4 Sprint Run. And I didn't even really pay attention to see if it was actually the carbon fiber ply or if it was like full-on carbon fiber scales.
I'm pretty sure it's full carbon fiber.
Let's hope so.
I'm pretty sure because I think all of the S90V carbon fiber variants have been full carbon fiber, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah. So that's coming out. I saw a lot of people on Facebook getting crazy over it.
I can't figure out why, though.
Yep.
Come on, G. Let it out. Come on.
Look, the same amount of machining went into this. You can't tell me that those 2 chunks of carbon fiber make up another $80. I don't believe it. I'm calling bullshit on that.
It's the machining cost for S90V, bro.
Tooling costs.
I'm with G on that one. Tell him, G.
Dude, come on.
It's
Rough Rooster had in his story today something along the lines of Spyderco could make a knife with handles made out of turds and a blade that was made out of plastic, and people would buy it. There's no way you're gonna catch me spending $270 on a Shaman.
Nope.
Carbon fiber and S90V. No way. I know a lot of people are getting uppity about it, but I don't see it.
That was my initial thoughts too. When I saw it, I was like, sweet. If it comes in at like 230-ish, maybe 240, and then I saw someone posted it was gonna be 280. I'm like, fuck no, I'm out.
Get out of here. It's getting ridiculous. I'm sorry. Come on, guys. Okay. The purpose when you have a business, right, and you manufacture a product, right? Okay. Take restaurants for example. Wonder why I'm bringing that analogy. So when you go from a mom and pop shop and then you get bigger and bigger and bigger, like, I don't know, McDonald's did, their cost of goods goes down because they purchase more and more and more of the product. When you buy more product, cost of goods goes down. When you do more when you produce more per hour, your cost of goods goes down, your labor goes down. You can't tell me Spyderco is putting out more knives now than they've ever done in 2019 than they've ever done in their entire history, and their knives cost more now than they've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
I am well aware, Sal Glesser, that import tariffs and cost of moving is freight. Freight is huge right now in the industry. I am directly tied to that, and I understand that freight is tremendous. We have a tremendous shortage of truck drivers in the United States right now. It's very hard. It costs a lot more money to move things from point A to point B. But your Shaman ain't worth $280.
Not a chance.
Not any day of the week, dude. Get out of here. For $300, I could buy a used Benza.
Seriously, that was my first thought too. And it can't cost that much for them to 3D contour some chunks of G10 or even carbon fiber. I think when the Shaman originally came out, I think it was like 160-ish. And I think that was pushing the boundary for how much it was or how much it was supposed to be. And then they jumped it up to like, I think it was either just under 200 or just over 200. And at that point, I was like, I'm not going to buy something like that, you know, at S30V G10 at that price, especially with the issues that knife has.
Never, man. It was like $188, I want to say the standard model is.
Yeah.
There's just no way. There's just educate yourself, guys. Don't. It's just you just can't. There's no. It's not. You could buy. Okay, that knife costs $270. For another $100, you could purchase yourself a Strider, or if you're looking for a heavy honky duty knife, for that money you could buy a SOCOM. For that money, you know, if you're looking for that kind of heavy duty, sturdy, honky donkey, beat up kind of knife,
A used large Sebenza.
Or a Sebenza, yeah. It's just in that category of knife, I just don't see it. Not ever. No.
No way.
No way, bro.
I think that's all we need to say on that.
Hard pass.
Well, now that we were talking about pricing and everything like that, that leads me to my next knife that everybody's been raving about. The Spyderco Paisan. So it's a Taichung plant produced Spyderco, which is a lot of their high-end stuff now. S90V steel. The blade's got a huge, nice, tall grind on it, which is really cool. And it's a Peter Rosenti design to follow up on the Nirvana, which I actually think it's a nicer design than the Nirvana. Looks more slim.
Yep.
Pocket clip is weird. Doesn't belong on there. It's got like a PM2
Nope.
on it. But $520, and that's not MSRP, guys. MSRP is $800. Dealer price is $520.
Is it an integral?
Oh my god! What?
Is it an integral handle?
It is. It is. It's an integral handle. I mean, come on, $520. I mean, there's plenty of guys happy to freaking buy them. They're getting bought everywhere and all over the place. I even saw Peter Rosenti had a few of them for sale on his site, the Spyderco version.
I saw that too.
In the pouch, right? So, but apparently that looks like that's a pretty big release for Spyderco, and I like the knife, but I would say it should have been maybe about $100 cheaper. I don't know.
Yep.
That's
I think that should be about $100 cheaper, and I think the Drunken should be about $100 cheaper.
Agreed. Nice high saber grind though, and it's a lot of blade for the handle, which was kind of cool.
People went ape shit when this Anthem got released, right? It's $420.
Yeah.
All bearing, axis lock, 20 CV, yada yada yada. Dick clip. See? Maybe that's what Spyderco did that clip. They don't want a dick clip. That's probably why. But went ape shit because it's $400. Okay, fine. $520 for a production-made knife. You gotta say it out loud. $520 for a mass production-made knife.
For a Spyderco.
The same people that bring you this knife are gonna make you a $500. And here's my thing: I'm not a pocket clip guy. I know Banner Ryan is gonna let you know. He'll straight just spike a knife like it's a football if it's got a wrong clip. I am not a clip guy. However, when you spend $520 on a knife, you expect everything to be cohesive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
That is quite literally this exact clip. Just slapped on it wherever it could fit.
You know what's super annoying about that too? Is it's not like this is their first time around the block. They literally did the same thing with the Nirvana.
Yes!
Did.
Preach, Tom, preach.
It makes no sense, and everyone bitched about that clip too. And here we are again.
And here we are again. I don't get that, man. Like, I don't know. Like I said, if I'm dropping that kind of coin, and you're gonna get a Spyderco knife for $520. This is not, this is a Spyderco. $520, man. That's a lot of change. And then you get this like rinky-dink, generic Spyderco. You invented the pocket clip. Come on.
They're so proud of their traditional spoon clip. They're putting it on every knife.
I would have even preferred that they put a wire clip on that thing.
Yes. A wire clip would have been nice.
A wire clip would even been better.
I don't get it. Like, it's like a dick slap. Wham, right in the face. Like, you'll buy this anyway. Slap. We don't need to worry about a clip. Slap.
Exactly.
How much is it like a custom Rosenti, Alex?
The Paisan, I think they go from somewhere north of $1,000 to start.
Shit, I'd rather buy that.
Yeah. I'd rather.
I'll just save my money and buy that.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going? Like, Alex, how much do Shiragoros go for? Like,
$1,000. Well, they start at maybe like you can get an entry level smaller like a Neon, right, for $550.
okay, that's what I was gonna say. I thought they were around the 600-700 like a Neon, right?
Now, if you want to go like, for example, like a single row bearing kind of like an F3, right, like a mid-sized knife, then you're gonna be about $650-700. Then if you want the multi-row and you want, like something like a 3 bears version or something like that, like my F95T, then you're gonna be closer to about $1,000, $900. And then they keep going, of course.
There you go. Yeah. So you could hypothetically spend a couple bucks more and get yourself a Shirogoro.
Absolutely.
So
I would take one in a heartbeat.
I'm gonna mic drop it right there. Just like you could buy a Shiro drop and walk away. Like,
yeah.
It's
The other thing is too, you could get an Anthem for about $100 less, with arguably a more intricate lock to machine in there.
100%.
I think the handle milling is more intricate on the Anthem. They're doing anodizing on it.
Yep.
I'd say the steel is probably equal. S90V and 20CV, I think, probably are about the same cost for a maker, more than likely.
Yeah.
And look, they have a milled dick clip.
You can get the dick clip, guys.
It's even ribbed for your pleasure.
It is.
Hanging out of their pocket. I want it. Right here.
Hang on. Let me get my Anthem. Give me 1 second.
How many dick clips can we get on one segment? Let's see. I want to see. I got one. Anybody else got an Anthem they can put a dick clip on? That's a dick clip. Yes. Come on, Alex. I know you got us Benchmade somewhere.
Well, that's almost shaped like a dick, right?
That's like a dick with a disease. No, do you have a Benchmade?
I do.
Look at my clip, Steve.
Double arrow.
Yeah, no Benchmates here.
I changed out the dick clip.
Why?
Because I don't like the dick clip. I hate milled clips.
Dick clip is solid, bro.
I had to modify this clip to work.
Real men rock dick clips.
I thought about putting it back on there. It just doesn't feel the same without it.
Yeah, for the record, this is a titanium milled clip, and this knife costs $100 less. Just throwing that out there.
And it has a matching pattern to the scales.
Yes! There's so much went into this.
And it's ribbed for your pleasure.
Exactly.
For your pleasure. See, look, Alex spots the details. This is ribbed for her pleasure.
Yeah.
Plot in a clip. Not some basic bitch-ass spoon clip. Look at that. Look at it.
I'm going to move along because we've got a lot of ground to cover, okay?
Go for it. Otherwise, this will be a 4-hour episode.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about dick clips all day. Okay, so, and not the most popular maker right now, but something I thought was very notable. Emerson. So Emerson has released a knife that is more catered to what he described as being more of an outdoors knife or utility. And he calls it the Renegade. Beautiful knife. It's got a very nice profile. And it comes in this new handle material that he calls Maple Richlight. It's a composite material that comes in either black or it's got this kind of wood, green, brown color on it, which is really nice. And it's a liner lock, of course, like most Emersons. But I thought it was actually one of the best Emersons I've ever seen. Did you guys see this thing yet?
No, I think I've seen the Renegade.
I'm showing the stream right now.
Yeah, this thing is sweet. I want to just say good job, Ernie. I think you designed a beautiful knife this time around. This one's really up my alley, and I might actually buy one of these to add to my Emerson collection.
Now, here's my thing with it. I like it. It looks very nice. But it's I don't know if this is going to be street price, but on his website he's showing $265 for. It has the nice shaman handles, the 3D milled ones. Is it micarta? It looks like micarta.
No,
they're calling it Maple Richlight.
Let's see if I can get this thing to show.
Yeah, I got it up right now on the stream. It looks like they call it Maple Richlight. It looks nice. Man, it's a lot of money though.
Well, I actually saw one on the eBay store going for $238.
That's
Pretty
not too bad.
That's a typical Emerson knife price. So a lot of guys who hate Emerson say that they're overpriced, their tolerances suck, and that they're overpriced. I say, you know, considering a lot of these knives have they're titanium liner locks. I have had a few QC issues, but they're not really things that prevent me from carrying the knife and using it. They're still safe to use. They got plenty of great lockup and everything. I'm more referring to maybe a little lock stick here and there, things like that. I've paid for my Emersons. I've had no regret. I still own 3. So, but this knife actually is probably one of my favorite blade designs by him. And it's still got the wave on it, which is nice. So good job, Ernie, on that one.
See,
I want to interrupt real quick. We got like 5 or 6 people in the chat right now. Anyone who wants to, you know, anything for us to talk about, go ahead and drop it in the chat. We'd love to interact with you guys.
Welcome, fellas. Welcome. Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Welcome to the Terradome, bitch.
All right, go ahead and continue. I'm sorry.
All right. So now Alamec has also released their first set of Damasteel knives. So they're making 300 models. I'm sorry, 300 pieces of each model. You're going to see it in this what they call Super Twist Damasteel, which is a beautiful pattern. So that's the first time they ventured and done that. So if you guys see one for sale, you really want one, it's probably the time to get it, because after 300 pieces of the Busker, the Swish, the 247, that's pretty much it. I talked to Ilya over there at Alamec, and they got a certain supply of it, and that's going to be pretty much it. But I just want to say that's pretty notable. They look really nice. They have matching pocket clips out of Damasteel too, which is pretty sweet. So pretty cool. Another thing that they're releasing is going to be the Rainmaker. Now this knife has already been out for a while, but they're actually going to be changing it. I think Ilya said next week he's starting with frame locks. So I actually might be ordering one of those. It's like a 4.1 inch blade you can get in spear or drop point. And if you look at the pivot on this thing, it's way, way, way at the front of the frame, which is interesting because it basically allows you to fit as much knife blade inside the handle as possible. So, yeah, you get a lot of blade for that thing. And I definitely think I'm going to be ordering one. Probably nothing crazy, no Timascus or anything. I think I want to order like a user, you know, standard like standard finish blade and stuff. Now they're actually going to be using Zfinite or Zfinite, however you say. So they're going to be starting to use some of that steel, which I have no experience in, but should be pretty interesting. You guys know anything about that?
Isn't it LC200N?
It's LC200N, just under a different name.
Is it like a different manufacturer, or is it the same?
I can't remember who manufactures it. It was originally under Zfinite name, is what it was for when they made it. Zfinite's like, what the hell does it stand for? Something, whatever, nitrogen, whatever. Yeah. That was the original name for the steel. Something, you know, it was the original name for the steel when they when NASA kind of had the market share on it. Then it was under, I think, Cryodor 30, and then LC210 is the one everyone sees. I think Carpenter makes LC210, and someone else, I think Baron, New Jersey Steel Baron makes Zfinite, I want to say, something that, I could be wrong.
That's why it's funny with everybody freaking out over LC200N, because it's been around for years. It's not like it's a new steel.
No, it's been around for a long time. Henkel's and Chef Knives has been using Cryodor 30 for, I don't know, 15 years, 10 years, something like that. Yeah. I've seen it. They were mad expensive, and they weren't marketed as like how LC200N's marketed. But they've been there. I've used them for years and didn't know I was using them. I was just like, man, this stuff's great. Oh, it's there forever. It's awesome. Look at this. Not staying at all. But yeah. Yeah, so Zfinite is a fucking titty steal. Yes. That is
And we all love
kudos.
All right, Alex.
Next thing I wanted to mention that I seen coming out, Bill Koenig. So you guys are familiar with Koenig knives?
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing some crazy stuff for Blade Show. We're talking like marble carbon fiber inside of the scales. So he's doing basically inserts now, which is the first time he's done it. He's going to have Damascus blades, Dama steel, all kinds of fancy materials. So that's going to be pretty cool to see what comes out of Blade Show when the picks come out. For those that are going, save your money, run to that booth because those are all out fast. Shirogorov has released a knife that's making a lot of noise right now. It's the Edit F95 Nudist Slim, and it's actually quite slim.
It's actually quite slim.
It is very slim. When you compare it to a regular F95, it's you can visually see the difference. It's quite a bit. So a lot of people are going crazy over that. Grant and Gavin Hawk is no longer making muds for 2019, which made me really sad because I really wanted one. They did say they're not going to stop making the mud, but they're going to start probably doing them in 2020. So we won't be seeing any more muds for a while. They're going to be concentrating on their deadlocks because there's a crazy demand for them right now. So that's the deadlock. Yeah, the OTF, the only OTF that I know of that has zero blade play when you actually deploy it. Pretty cool.
Bama Knife Guy's in the house, by the way.
Who?
Bama Knife Guy.
Oh, he got on? There you go, asshole. He's fucking blowing up my goddamn phone. No, call me. I'm like, I'm on a goddamn podcast. Thank you.
So that's pretty much wraps it up for knife news.
Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da.
And that should put us into today's main topic, right?
Well, we could definitely do that. I also wanted to share that I did get the pleasure to have dinner with Ian Pekarsky, me and my wife, him and his wife. That was pretty fun, getting to meet that guy. He's 24 years old, and he's making insane custom knives. So I kind of asked, really nice stuff. So I got lucky enough. Hopefully, it sounds like I'm going to get a knife made from him.
Awesome.
I've been waiting 2 years. I've been asking him to put me on some sort of list, and hopefully we'll work something out, is what it sounded like. So I'm looking forward to that. I asked him what he used to do before he made all these crazy custom knives. He was a barista at Starbucks. I think he was doing it for 4 years, is what he said, or something like that. And he went straight into making knives, and now he makes these badass knives. And the cool thing is when he came out for a vacation to California to him and his wife were celebrating an anniversary. And he actually hand-delivered 3 of his knives to customers right at their doorstep. It's pretty rad. You don't really hear knife makers doing that.
Yeah, that is very cool.
That's badass. He just showed up like, yo, you order this, huh?
Yeah.
I respect it, man. I respect that. Because then you got to look him in the face when I open it, you know?
Exactly. And actually, one of them's one of my buddies. So 2 of the knives went to one of my buddy Russell. Big shout out to That's Not a Knife on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
When me all addicted to these expensive, crazy knives. And so hopefully I'll be getting to order the Mistress R by CMF. That's what I want.
Very awesome.
You're fucking badass. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
fun.
to your door. That's cool. I'm glad you'll be able to get a custom from it, man.
Yeah, I hope that I definitely know that's probably going to go after Blade Show, but I'm gonna be having to save a lot of money for that baby. They're north of $1,500
Whew.
start as a basic one. And
Stop.
I'm
Hey, that's
underquoting it.
undershooting it.
That is
So I-
like 3 times out of my price range.
Yeah. So, but now to the main topic, boys.
Very cool.
So we're gonna talk today about custom knives versus production knives. Owning them, shopping, you know, the experience of owning. The first thing I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with production knives. And one thing I've noticed about production knife guys, the one good thing I've noticed is that they're pretty widely available to us in most stores, which is one of the advantages, right?
Yep.
You can buy multiple knives for the price of one custom. So you can try a few different things. You can enjoy them. They're produced usually in large numbers, so you can, if you miss it at one store, you can find it at another online store. Or, there'll be plenty of them floating around. Now, the one thing is there's it could go two ways when it comes to tolerances, right? It could either have great tolerances, which are repeated over and over, or it could be pretty inconsistent. So there's a lot of plus or minuses to go into production. So I'd like to hear a couple of your thoughts on what you guys think.
That's kind of tough.
Get away.
I've never had a custom. I'd really like a custom. The only custom I think I can afford at this moment would be that Aaron Frederick one that we were talking about the other day.
Yeah.
Some of his custom knives for being handmade knives to be around $350 to $400 price point is just unreal.
It is.
And his warranty is incredible, but that would be the only custom I'd ever buy at the moment. So I only have experience with production knives, and they're all wildly inconsistent. And they either make you super happy, or they piss you off because why did I spend $400 on this and it sucks. Hinder.
I was waiting.
3 weeks in a row. That's it.
I had to sneak it in there.
You set yourself up. Rick's
I had
in the
to
back
sneak it in there.
with duct tape stretched out.
I'm wondering if he's in the stream chat right now.
Probably is. Staring at you. Gerald, what you got to say about this? You got some customs, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah. The only custom I have is a fixed blade, and I didn't even order it. I got it in a trade that worked way in my favor.
That's the best kind of trade.
So,
well, guys in general, production knives. So what kind of shopping advice do you guys have for some of the listeners as far as, what do you guys are comparing when you're shopping for a knife in general? And we're talking production knives. How are you guys comparing these companies? And obviously you guys are a little bit more well-versed at it because you guys know the steels. You guys have tested these knives. So you guys are, I'm going to say, probably is going to be some of the best advice for some of these guys out there. It's like when we were talking back before when I would shop for a knife and you see M390, you're expecting every single time that you're getting that same M390, but you're not, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
So we're gearing this towards like someone getting into the knife hobby kind of thing. Like, hey, what is our difference on production versus custom?
Right. Well, it doesn't even have to be the difference between production versus custom, but it can just be like overall shopping for a production knife.
Yeah, I think what he's talking about is like what you look for when you're going to buy a production knife. What, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, but kind of like what's like the do's and don'ts and like what turns you off if you see something and.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Pros and cons. Okay, yeah, that's what you're saying. Don't pay secondary market prices. There we go. There's
Boom.
number one. Secondary market prices in the production night game are fucking ludicrous. And the only reason they're ludicrous is because we allow them to be ludicrous. Plain and simple. If you don't pay the price, it ain't gonna be that much. It's that I promise you, 99% of people out there spending $280 on a Rex 45 milli will not bring you more joy than a production one at S30V. Other than you have it in your hand. It's not worth the extra $150. Stop letting guys get away. Like the Para 3, the River's Edge, the $400 Para 3. That knife isn't worth $300. That knife isn't worth $150. It was $140 when they sold it. That's about what it's worth. Just stop doing that. Stop paying secondary market prices that are more or grossly more than the value of the knife when it came out, because it's really not worth that.
No.
I promise you it's not worth that to you.
I had one of the River's Edge Para 3s. I bought them because River's Edge is a local shop to me. They're about 2 hours away. And I messaged Brian Kent, and I was like, hey, do you have any of these? He goes, yeah, I was saving a couple just for the local guys. He goes, do you want to buy it? So I bought it and had it for 2 to 3 weeks, decided to sell it. I knew what the secondary market prices were. And I could have been that douchebag that sells it for $250 plus. And I ended up selling it to BJ for what was that?
I said 400, Tom. 400.
Well, back then it was $250 because they had another shipment of them coming in still.
They're $380 plus, dude.
Yeah, and BJ sold it to some guy for just a little bit more than that, I think, like 200-ish. And we still talk about it to this day. We're sick at what the secondary market prices are of it now. Like on PM2 OG's shop, I was just looking the other day.
My buddy.
Dude, it was $380, and someone's gonna buy that.
My buddy, PM2 OG, my dog. Yeah, he's a big culprit of this. Look, I'm an American. I'm all for free enterprise. I'm all for capitalism. This is why I'm preaching to you, the consumer. Stop paying it. It's that simple. If you stop paying it, it'll stop happening. That's all it is. It's that simple. Don't pay $220 for an XHP Para 3. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not worth it. When you're getting into knives, you really got to, there's a lot of excitement in buying a knife. There's a lot of excitement in waiting for it to get there. There's a lot of excitement in ownership, right? When we're dealing with knives, okay? Especially when we're talking production knives. None of us need 40 knives. We don't. Okay?
No.
I'm a user, and I don't need as many.
I need
knives.
50.
Yeah, but I own them because I like them. And I wake up, and some people pick a hat, some people pick shoes. I pick what knife I'm going to carry that day. That's my shit. I get that part of it. But really, really think about it and break it down in your head. This is the reason why you guys see when I'm on my Instagram, I'm carrying a lot of these SOCOMs, Hinderers, stuff that's kind of in the higher end production stuff, because it brings me more joy. You can't, I don't see the value in a limited edition Benchmade or like the Benchmade Freak that came out last year. Remember that thing? It was like jade handles and M4 Cerakote.
Yep.
And dude, those things go on eBay for like $500.
And guess what? Guess what? They have a production one of that now, G10 M4 for $225 MSRP.
That's why I brought it up. You can get the Super Crate, which is a G10 handled M4 with a DLC coating instead of that shitty Cerakote for $180 or whatever it is on any online retailer. So this is my point. You know what I mean? If River's Edge Cutlery ever decides to do another Para 3, which I promise you they will, because they sold like 500 of them in an hour, they're gonna do it again, and then you just spent $350 on a knife. It's not nearly what you get. What I'm saying? You're gonna be upside down on it.
Yep.
You wouldn't walk into a used car dealership and offer them the full price of that car brand new when it was used, would you? No, because it's not fucking worth that. You know it's not worth that. So why would you do that with a knife? You get what I'm saying? And then conversely, on the flip side, you could want to spend so a Para 3 River's Edge is $380 on the secondary market. For $380, you could easily buy a Sebenza or a Hinderer or a Strider or anything of these higher end stuff secondhand that are like new in box, that have better quality, better tolerances, still have have way better warranties, and are just better all around collectors and users. So that's my biggest thing: is don't pay secondary market prices on the production knives is just ridiculous. It's ludicrous.
Bama Knife Guy just said that he saw one go for $460 the other day.
Yikes!
Who pays that?
Someone.
Grab your balls off if you pay that for a pair of 3.
PM2 or A Kalashnikov M says PM2 OG is about that date rape life on his site. #balls.
If you I didn't say it, okay? I didn't say you're the Spanish fly guy. I'm just saying someone else said you're the Spanish fly guy. That is, I love that. Who is that? I love you. You're my spirit animal. That was great. That was exactly, yes. Like I said, I'm an American, man. I'm a proud American, and I'm all for capitalism. But, there's a difference between, making, selling something what you can sell it for, and then just dragging someone over the coals and having zero integrity.
Tom, did you say A Kalashnikov?
A Kalashnikov M, yeah.
Oh, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for coming out on the chat. I know that guy.
Oh, awesome.
He's cool.
I'm assuming he watches Steve's videos too with the #balls.
Yes. Cool, awesome. It's the truth, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody here disagrees with me. It's just we do it to ourselves. Like I said, you wouldn't walk into Publix or Kroger's and see like the discounted bananas turning brown and be like, "Nah, I want to pay $1 a pound for those." No, because they used to be yellow. You know what I mean? Like they were yellow at one point. They were delicious. They were. You know what I mean? We don't do that, but yet we look at a pair of 3 and we're like, "Yeah, I'll totally pay 5 times the original asking price for it because I want it." It's just silly. Stop doing it, guys, and quit bitching when somebody sells it.
Next question. Where are some places where you guys recommend people to go and shop secondary market for knives and get a decent deal?
I was thinking about this earlier. First and foremost, I think if you guys have a local knife shop, you should go support that first because there's not many of them out there. And even if you have to pay a little bit extra to buy it from there, I think it's 110% worth it to be able to handle it. Mm-hmm. And, they might not be able to work with the margins that some of these bigger online shops like Blade HQ can, which honestly really sucks. I know exactly where those shops are coming from. And I wouldn't recommend paying MSRP. I mean, do your due diligence and look online. And if you're just going to get absolutely screwed over on a knife in a shop, by all means, go ahead and buy it online. But as far as that goes, getting that out of the way. I like Blade HQ. I've bought from Blade HQ a few times. My favorite, I think, is DLT Trading. I really enjoy ordering from DLT.
DLT is my favorite.
I like the rewards points. I mean, if anything that continues to fund my bad habit is great.
Yep. Have
you can write, "Pick me one without blade play," and they'll sign it, highlight it.
Yeah. If you guys ever get a chance to, or if you ever have any questions before purchasing anything, dude, the guys at DLT are awesome.
Yes.
They're very, very good with customer service. I saw some guys, oh, surprise, he said he bought a bad Hinder from DLT. And
I don't know who that guy is.
He said he had a problem with the Hinder he bought from DLT. I mean, Jason jumped online, offered him to replace it, exchange it, money back, whatever he wants, like right on the spot. And I've been dealing with them for years. My first experience with them was ordering I ordered a custom 1909 Bowie from Bark River through them. And the first one that I got, it came with the wrong guard. It wasn't the guard that I wanted. They said, no problem. We'll order a new one. They got it done real fast. I had exactly what I wanted. And they even gave me a discount for the inconvenience.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I love Jason. Paul is freaking awesome there. Big shout out to DLT Trading. That's absolutely my favorite place to shop.
100%.
I also like GP Knives, though. GP Knives is another good one that I've ordered from a couple of different times. Their shipping's very, very quick.
Yeah. Yep. GP Knives. I bought a couple knives from them too. I like his YouTube channel. What is it, Tyler?
I think so.
Hello, this is Tyler.
No, I must say,
Giganticism or something.
with
Yeah.
with DLT, the first time I created an account there was when I bought that faulty Hinderer, and I was signed in as a guest, but I created an account right after and let them know that, and they put all the points from that purchase directly onto my account, which was awesome. They didn't have to do that, but that's awesome.
Yep. Yep.
For anybody that's listening to this that follows my channel or sees me on Instagram, this is the reason I say fuck Blade HQ.
Mhm.
I'm going to fuck Blade HQ. Fuck everything about Blade HQ. You want good customer service, and you want to know that what you're buying is done right, you go to DLT Trading. Period.
And the other thing too, the cool thing about DLT compared to Blade HQ, I've ordered from both. I've ordered from them probably about the same amount of times. Blade HQ, because it's so big and it's probably the biggest online knife marketplace pretty much, everything sells out so quick there. It's so hard to get things there, where DLT and GP Knives and all the other stores that we've mentioned, they seem to have that same stuff in stock for longer.
And like I said, you can quite literally, in the comments, when you buy a knife or whatever, you write in the comments anything. Find me one that's centered. Find me one that's, please pick me one that has no blade play. It will be highlighted, and it will be signed off by an individual, and you will get the knife that you asked for. Blade HQ don't do that.
Bama Knife Guy says Travis Van Way at theknifejoker.com is a wonderful guy. I've heard some good things about him as well. I've never ordered from him though.
Knife Joker's badass. Yes, that's another awesome one.
I believe he's a big Spyderco dealer and Riot too.
Yes, he does a lot of Spyderco stuff. I second Lee on that one. Yeah, it's a smaller company. Go support that. And I support what Tom said. Go to your local shop. I do a lot of buying at local shops. I go and I search, and I call it the hometown tax. If you're going to go somewhere and be able, no, for real, no brick and mortar store is going to compete with an online retailer, period. But you're keeping the money in your own town, in your own local economy. You get to handle the knives, you get to look at the knives, you get to touch the knives, and to me, it's well worth it.
Definitely.
100%.
I've also bought from River's Edge Cutlery a couple of times too, and they've been awesome. Their shipping's super quick. Their communication's great. I'm not just saying that because they're a local shop, but they're a really cool shop in general.
No, 100%. Rivers, yeah, they do an awesome job. I've ordered from them as well.
Yeah, very good.
Wholeheartedly, fuck Blade HQ.
Your video messed up, Steve. Try turning off your video and turn it back on.
I just did because it messed up. Still fucked?
Yeah, it's like paused on the live stream.
So I've actually bought from Blade HQ, and my opinion on Blade HQ is going to be this: you don't get anything special. You do not get bad customer service. You get just exactly what you pay for.
Yeah.
I've never had a bad experience. I've bought lots and lots of knives from them. And I've never had like any knives come damaged or anything like that. I do like the fact that you can ask them to draw a picture on the box. Then they'll do that for you. That's always fun. And the one person I really like over there are the two people, the guys handling the YouTube videos. Mm-hmm. Those guys are great. They produce some good fun stuff on YouTube. So I like Blade HQ, but if I want a little more of a personal customer experience, I'm gonna go to DLT each and every time. Yeah. And there's no doubt about it. And I mean DLT, I've been 4 or 5 years I've been shopping from them. They're great.
I do have something good to say about Blade HQ though. I've gotten the chance to visit their shop, and I was out on a business trip out there in Utah where they're at, and we were, explaining, what we were there for, and we're looking at the showroom. And the showroom, if you guys have actually been there, I haven't seen the new shop since they've moved, but the old one was kind of small, maybe 400 or 500 square feet. It's not very big at all. But they were like, do you guys want to see the warehouse? And we're like, yes. Is that even a question? So they walked us in through their warehouse, and the warehouse is like thousands of square feet behind this little tiny shop. And I got to see, where they shoot all the videos, where they've done all like the different contests and stuff. It was really cool, and I do appreciate them, showing people that they don't even know their warehouse.
Yeah, I mean, I like those guys. I really do. I got nothing against Blade HQ. They've been great. It's just, they're so big, it's for that personal experience. If you're a customer service derived kind of person, I mean, their customer service is great. I've heard people complain about how long it takes for their knife to get boxed up and shipped. I haven't had too many problems myself, but I know a few that have.
I have.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
John's talking. Everyone, shh.
Dude, I think I've purchased from Blade HQ 5 times, and once one sat there with a label created for 3 days before it moved, and another one sat there for 4 days before it moved after the label was created.
Yeah, I had a similar experience with DLT one time. I don't think it was really their fault. I think it was more the post office's fault. I won't even bother talking about that because I think the post office really shit the bed on that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna piggyback off what Alex and Tom said. Fuck Blade HQ. Go to trading.
Are we trying to get sponsored by DLT right now?
I don't give a shit about a sponsorship. I just don't like Blade HQ. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's up, guy. Sorry.
So I guess the
As
chance
far
of
as
having
please-
Ben from Blade HQ on here is out the window.
Ben's a cool dude.
All right, guys. Maybe DLT will pick it up.
Places I look at that we haven't talked about yet: Knife Works,
Mm-hmm.
Knives Plus,
Yes.
and Cutlery Shop.
Yes, I agree on all three.
And
All
knife.
3 places, super fast shipping. They'll all pick out exactly what you ask. I mean, some of them, Knife Works will even email you back if they find an issue with every particular knife they have in stock.
That's badass.
And ask you, is this okay if we send you this? So,
What are your guys' thoughts on Knife Center? Because I've never ordered anything from there, but all I hear is horror stories about the pre-orders.
dude, just don't pre-order from them.
So I had never heard of a horror story from Knife Center. Take a guess where I pre-ordered this pair of 3 from.
Knife Center.
Knife Center. So ready? Here we go. So I've never heard. I swear on my daughter, I've never heard of a horror story from Knife Center. I've ordered from Knife Center, never had a problem. I pre-ordered from Knife Center. I was the 11th or 12th person to pre-order a pair of 3 on the day it was available. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Second I saw it, I was like, I need to get that. Boom. Right. So all of a sudden, I start seeing pair of 3 lightweights pop up a couple weeks ago. So I call them up and I'm like, hey, I was just curious when you guys are shipping the pair of 3s. And she was like, oh, we got pair of 3s. And I was like, cool. Is mine shipped? She's like, no, let me give me your order number. Give her my order number. She's like, oh, you got the plain edge. No, we got serrated edges. We ship those. All right, that's cool. No problem. The next day, I make a comment on Instagram joking about how I still don't have a pair of 3. A guy DMs me a screenshot of his order confirmation from 2 days ago from Knife Center with his plain edge pair of 3. He's like, I already got it. Yeah, he's like, I already got it. And I'm like, what do you mean you already got it? I'm like, serrated or plain? And he just sends me the screenshot. And I'm like, well, I'm making a phone call. So I call up Knife Center and I'm like, hey man, I got a buddy here who he already got his in his hands. Like, it shipped out a few days ago. She's like, well, I don't see anything here about it. We haven't even received the plain edge in. I was like, well, here's my order number. And she looks it up. As she's looking it up, I hear my phone go boop, boop, in my ear. I get an email of a ship confirmation.
Oh my God.
And it's a pair of 3. She's like, oh, they came in yesterday. I didn't see them. So they came in yesterday afternoon. That's why it should be shipping soon.
Yeah.
So I don't got a problem with Knife Center. They seem like real cool people. I just probably won't do a pre-order again.
Yep.
Because
After
they
hearing all the horror stories, I will never pre-order from Knife Center.
don't really seem to know what the fuck's going on. I still order regular shit, trust me. But as far as pre-orders, I wouldn't. They don't really seem to know what's coming and going. She was like, I swear she typed it in as I was on the phone with her. She was like, "Oh yeah, bloop 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 bloop." Probably why I got the crushed box one.
Probably. Yours was in the corner, thrown away.
They were like, "Oh shit," and grabbed it and threw it in.
That was the one Sale set aside for you.
Yeah, it was. It was under this Steve channel right there. They're like, that's the guy. He's calling right now.
See if he makes fun of our fucking heat treat now.
Son of a bitch.
So that's some good advice about where to shop, how to shop with productions. On the custom side of things, a couple things, since I've kind of dived into both, from entry level knives to production knives to custom knives. A couple things I'm gonna say to you guys, if you guys are out there shopping. Here's some of the pluses I've seen with custom knives. So the cool thing is sometimes you can tailor them to the way you want it. You want, this, dinosaur feathered herringbone micarta, freaking whatever, if the materials are out there, chances are that the maker will work with you and do it most of the time. Some things like Dr. Franke, which pretty much I think most people know who he is. He's a big figure on YouTube. He likes to buy materials and he likes to send it to makers. That's something else I've been doing myself. That's a good way to get a knife that's really personalized. As long as you communicate with the maker, a lot of times they'll let you do that. So if you guys don't like what you see when you guys are shopping for a custom knife on their site, don't hesitate to email the guy and tell him, hey, I love what you do, but I really want this. So that's just some advice I have. The one thing I'm going to say though, guys, do not build a custom knife for resale. That is the biggest mistake you can make. If you build this really super fancy Mokutai, everything, one-off knife, I mean, unless it's by a really famous knife maker who's passed away, you're not going to make money on the knife. That's just not going to happen. So if you're building a custom knife and you want to build it to your specs, do it because you want to. Don't do it to go make money, because I'm telling you right now, there's not much profit to be made off custom knives. I actually think you make more profit off sprint runs and, production limited editions.
SPM2OG.
Absolutely.
No, I think you're totally right. Yeah, you're totally right.
Absolutely.
Really good.
Some other stuff I can mention to you guys too is, if shop around. Don't pick the biggest name out there. There's a lot of not known knife makers, or not as well known knife makers, that make some amazing pieces. I mean, Olamic is pretty well known, and they're very popular. One thing I like about them though is that if you buy one of their knives, or you have one of their a knife made from them, there's a good chance that the dude down the street is not going to be rocking the exact same finish, exact same knife. Because a lot of the stuff they make is, okay, let's do one or two of these. Okay, moving on. Let's do this version, that version. Different materials, different things. I'm trying to think of a good example of a not well-known knife maker. I dealt with one. What's his name? I can't think of it right now, so I'm going to move on.
Insert Jeopardy theme here.
Yes. But there's go on Instagram, look around, ask around. There's plenty of great custom knives, because I've heard a couple of you guys earlier mention how, like Tom said, $400 or $500. I mean, I'm going to go with Aaron Fredericks, for example, because he's in my price range. But Tom, there's a lot of custom knives around $400 or $500.
Really?
There's a lot. There is tons of people out there that make great knives for about that price range where they start. So, but they're not going to be, you know, on Knife Center's website. They're not going to be on Blade HQ. There's a lot of like research, and Instagram's the greatest place for that stuff. For example, a not well-known knife maker I can think of right now, which I actually plan to deal with. I actually sent you guys a picture on Instagram. Is Three-Leg Dog Knife.
Mm-hmm.
That's a South African knife maker. That knife I showed you over there, it's a full custom knife. It was $520.
Well, that's not too bad at all.
No, not at all. And I already talked to the maker. He said, hey, if you want to ship me your own carbon fiber or whatever you want to do, no problem. I bought the slabs of carbon fiber from Fat Carbon for, what, 2 knives I spent $100. I mean, it's a lot easier to get into little personalized things than a lot of people realize. People think custom knives and they think they have to spend $800-900 plus. You really don't, guys. That's a piece of advice that I have to tell you. You just got to search around. There's a lot of good makers out there that are just not as well known, and just keep your eyes out. You know, another cool thing is, you know, they're built in lower batches. So perhaps maybe because they're made in lower numbers, you might be able to get a little bit better quality. And that's in question. I'm not saying that's always going to be the case. But if they're heat treating knives, they're heat treating 5 blades, they're, you know, basically spending time on 5 knives, I mean, a lot of us would expect or think that, you know, you're going to get a lot more care in that one particular pocket knife as far as making sure there's no lock stick, the blade's nice and centered. The guy's going to have the time to spend on that knife versus a production line of knives.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another plus that I think is cool about custom knives. Warranty repairs. I think some of the custom knife makers are really good. Like Tom was mentioning, Aaron Fredericks. Send him a cool story about how you broke your knife. He'll fix it. You know, like there's a lot of guys like that out there that will stand by their work. And especially the up-and-comers, guys, they're willing to work with you because they're up and coming, they're not big, and they want to leave a good name and a good experience, so you'll spread the word for them. So warranty and repairs, it's usually a good thing. Not always, though, but most of the time. Some of the bad things, though, you guys got to keep in mind when it comes to custom knives. Like, I know how a lot of people are, and I still fight this with myself, is do I use it or do I not? Right? I mean, so I say freaking use it. The knife maker, you can send the knife back. He'll freaking fix it for you. Just use the damn thing. Enjoy it. That's where I'm starting to go. Before I was like, I'm not going to, this Dama steel knife, I'm not touching it, you know, and then now, for example, right? Now, for example, that dragon skin Damascus knife that I got from Michael Ziba, I'm not using that. I already talked to him. He says, please don't mess it up. I hate refinishing that thing. Like, yeah. It's every knife maker knows that stuff's a pain to work with. One scratch, you got to redo the whole blade. It's
He's like, please don't fuck it up.
Please don't mess this one up, right?
At least he's honest, though.
Yeah. And I got plenty of other ones which I can use, so I'm happy with that. Now, some of the other bad things, though, with custom knives, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. Do not have an expectation. If the knife maker tells you, okay, I'll put you on the list, I will talk to you in 3 months. Don't expect him to talk to you in 3 months. He's going to talk to you in 6 months. That's just the name of the game. So if you want to get into the custom knife realm, that's just something for you to expect. Don't get upset. Just expect it. Jason Guthrie, I waited almost a year and a half to come up on his books. I never messaged him. I never bothered him. He said, May of this year, I'm going to contact you and we'll get a build together. And boom, like clockwork, he contacted me. They don't all function on clockwork, though. Some of them are going to be later, and it's just part of the game. So if you want to get into custom knives, be patient. Lack of communication, big problem in custom knives. A lot of times when you talk to the custom knife makers, they are getting asked a million questions by everybody. I'm sure a bunch of annoying ones like, oh, you know, like, can you do this, but can you do that? But, oh, wait, I changed my mind. So, like, that's something that drives me crazy, but it's something I'm trying to deal with is lack of communication from the makers. It's just something to expect. Some are better at it than others, and some of them it's going to take a few days for them to respond. So don't get upset the first day you send out a message. You know, at least give it a few days before you follow up. Well, come on, bro. Like, come on. Just give it some time, guys. Buying custom knives secondhand can be a good or a bad thing. Secondhand custom knives, you got to wonder why they're selling it. So,
good one.
Yep, you got to wonder why they're selling it. And then another thing, too, is that if they're selling a custom knife, the price can go either way, guys. It could be like a Spyderco. It could double the price, and, you know, too bad if you want one. There's only a few of these, and that's the way it is. Shirogorov, although is a production knife, they do have a custom division, and that's a perfect example of like how crazy these prices can get.
Mm-hmm. Like the Grimsmo stuff for a while was like that.
Oh yeah, what Northman started like what $600-700,
and then they were selling for like $1,300.
Oh yeah, and now if you want like a crazy one, you're up in like 13, 14, 1,500.
Yep.
$2,000. I mean, come on. But that's part of the game. So don't expect your value and your money back. Buy the knife because you love it, and use the damn thing. Value, exactly. And now value can fluctuate. There's always depends on demand. Sometimes the demand's going to be high, the price is going to be high. If you can't afford this knife right now, it doesn't mean in 6 months that the knife prices isn't going to come down, and then all of a sudden it's $200-300 cheaper. You know, so be patient when you shop for a custom knife. You know, and patience is everything in the custom knife game. I almost was going to tell, you know, pretty much everybody, if you're already in production knives and you enjoy production knives, stay right there. Don't come to the custom knives. Such a pain in the ass. You know, it's all about shooting my pictures on Facebook. Here's mine, you know, here's this, here's that. I mean, there's a lot of uglies in the custom knife community. People have such high expectations. So if you enjoy production, don't feel like you need a custom knife to have a nice knife. You really don't. But then on the flip side, don't think that you have to spend, you know, $1,800 to get a custom, because there's a lot of great knife makers out there. So that's my little spin on custom knives.
That was a knowledge bomb right there, Alex. You just learned some serious shit. That was awesome. That was great. Like, yes, that is a lot of things that I know, at least for me, that I never would have thought about or gave a second thought to. That is, you know, somebody like me. I get into a custom knife, and all of a sudden 3 weeks go by, and I don't hear from somebody. I'm like, yo, where my knife at? So just man, that was a lot. That was. I hope everybody took fucking notes, because that was like getting into customs 101 right there. Like, here's what you need to expect when you get into that realm and that world. That's huge.
Now, Alex, I have a question I think that a lot of our listeners are probably going to have, but do you know off the top of your head some of those custom knife makers that are kind of like that. I don't want to say it this way, but that entry level price point.
Oh, start looking in South African knife makers, guys. South African custom knife makers. The problem with those guys is they make very small batches, but the prices are so reasonable. Walter Wells, that was the guy that I was thinking of before that it couldn't come quite to my head, but Walter Wells, he's a custom knife maker somewhere on the East Coast. The guy's really cool, very nice guy. Dude, he'll make you a knife in 20 CV. I have no idea what the damn heat treat is. Don't ask me.
Look at him, he's learning.
Yeah, he 20 CV steel with a nice spidey hole. He made this nice custom flipper for me. It was half G10, half copper shred carbon fiber, and liner lock. Thing was like, he charged me $335 to build it.
What?
Yeah, it's a custom knife, guys. It's $335 is what I paid for that thing.
Take
And
that, Edge Cutlery Pair 3.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a personalized knife. Now, keep in mind, you know, when you get a custom knife, there, especially from a small maker like that, there's going to be a few things that might not be perfect. It might have a little lock stick. It might have a little of this, a little of that, but there's a difference between a handcrafted knife and a CNC knife. And
yes.
Me, I'm going to tell you right now, I like the handmade aspect of it. It's artistic. Yeah, you know, it might have its little, I'm going to say it's got personality. That's what I'm going to say. It's personality, and I love those handmade knives. And I don't believe handmade knives are better than CNC or vice versa. Like, there's a huge debate about that in the custom knife world. Is a CNC knife even a custom knife? All this crap. I'm not even going to get into that today. But I am going to tell you, I love the feel of a handmade and assembled knife. It's quite pleasant. It's got
Kalashnikov says, what would PM2OG sell an South African custom for?
The firstborn.
Guys,
and a brand new rubber mallet so he could whack it through chicken wire.
That's great.
Another good knife maker, although his prices are getting up there a little bit more now. I've seen a couple of his knives go for close to $1,000, but Trevor Berger, that's that front flipper I'm getting. That's like a $500 knife. It's still a full custom, you know, made knife. Keep your eyes on South African knife makers, guys. They're really, really, really good, and they do a lot more by hand than a lot of the other guys. And there's a lot
off as a South African custom knife maker, right?
What's that?
So you know who started out as a South African custom knife maker, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Chris Chief.
Huge tradition there, huge tradition. And I think, Alex, you touched on something that's real heavy, and I can relate to this in a food sense, with the difference between there being CNC custom and handmade custom.
Yep.
You have to understand, I would think, what you're getting into and what you're looking for. If you're looking for absolute machining perfection, then getting into a handmade knife is not what you're looking for, right? If you're looking into something with more soul, like a handmade custom is something like a 71 Cuda. You know what I mean? Like, it takes a little more finesse. You got to feel the clutch before you pop it. You got to know when to hit it. But when it opens up, it opens up. Whereas a CNC made custom is going to be more like your Bugatti, your Maybach. Everything's perfectly tight. Everything's perfectly lined up. Your tolerances are flawless, and it's a little more sterile, to me, and less soul.
I think that was very well described. That's exactly what it is, and it comes back to that word. It's got character. It's got personality. You know.
It's got soul.
Absolutely. And, you know, little imperfections here and there, like, don't bother me. Some people, it drives them crazy. But for me, you know, as long as the knife is well built and the knife does what it's supposed to do, and it's safe, most of all, then I'm good with it, you know?
Definitely.
That's awesome, man. Those are some real, like, awesome tidbits you just dropped right there, man. For anyone looking to get into, because I have no experience, zero, in custom knives. So that's heavy, man. That's a really good. I hope everybody took notes on that if you think about getting into customs, because that just broke down the playing field right there. Like, what you're getting into, just the world of, like you said, handmade and CNC right there. There's a decision you need to make.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, what gives you joy? What hits your heart more? Is it the machining? Is it high precision? Is it more soul? Is it more? And then that right there is going to help you divide and pick a maker that's right for you. So thank you.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and and I'm a novice at custom knives. I'm getting into it, and but I've spent a good year and a half, I think, I want to say, with actual, like, really concentrating on higher end custom knives and lower end custom knives, and I've talked to plenty of makers and try to share a little bit of my experience, but a lot of stuff I learned from other guys, and it seems to hold weight. And but I will say the number one thing is, please, if you expect to get into the custom knife realm and really enjoy it, you gotta have patience, because it does not come the next day. And if you're one of those guys, like Tom said, like last year Black Friday, I was feeling this knife, I really wanted it, I bought it, and then now we come to, I don't know how many months later, and the knife shows up and you've lost feelings for the knife. That can happen with a custom knife.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind, guys. Like, I'm not one of those people. I usually, like, if I'm focused on something, I'm looking forward to it till it's in my hand. The only one that I've lost focus on, and I could give two shits now, is the Morphing Karambit. Because not only is there a freaking $200 option that everybody's been getting to play with for months before I even get mine, but now there's a $35 option on eBay, and there's even a $14.95 Morphing Karambit on eBay by some random Chinese maker. Yeah, I saw it the other day. So that knife has lost all its luster for that very reason, that everybody else has gotten to enjoy theirs before I even got mine. And you know what's funny is, just as we speak, I just got a freaking email from freaking Caswell, Joe Caswell, about the Morphing Karambit updates. Another fucking update. Let's see what number update it is. It's probably number...
We got to scrap the whole project. It went bad.
Caswell update number 14. 14 emails I've been through. May 2019. I mean, we are back to numbers up to 140 out of, I think it was like 800 or 900 knives that you were supposed to make, somewhere around there. So
tell them, go fuck yourself. I bought one for $15 on Amazon.
At this point, I'm committed, man. I'm waiting for this thing. I know it's going to be an awesome knife, and I'm going to love it when I get it. It's just the way it was marketed, the way that the whole thing went down is the part that I'm not enjoying whatsoever.
How much did that cost you?
$450 on the initial kickstart. The second one that's coming out, they're gonna do one more kickstart. It's gonna be $650.
Why? What's so special about the next one?
Nothing. You just get you get
It's the second one. That's what you get.
It's the exact same knife. The only reason why we get it at $450 is because we funded the project.
Yeah, you're on the original Kickstarter.
So
see, I got a bad personality trait. I'm one of those guys that'll cut my nose to spite my face. How long are you waiting for this knife?
Since March of last year.
March of last year, yeah. See, like, when that thing shows up, if it was me, at this point I would have called it a loss, and I probably would just make a video of me smashing that thing through a cinder block and then mailing back the pieces with the video, because I'd be so happy. See, this is why I'm not into custom knives. This is why you need guys like Alex to guide you through the custom knife world, because guys like Steve don't have the patience to deal with 15-month or 24-month waits Knives I already paid for.
That's not even a custom, bro. This is like
That's like a mid-tech.
Yeah, this is a mid-tech. This is like a millet-produced knife. And then it's such BS because it says there are approximately 200 knives completed by Millet and delivered to backorder numbers through 140. I'm number 128. Where the fuck is my knife?
Where the fuck is mine? Yeah, exactly.
It's like Steve, bro. It's like Knife Center and Steve. You know, like he was like one of the first people. Where the hell's my knife?
Where's my knife? Where is Alex's knife, Millet? Millet. Anyone from Millet is listening right now. Where the fuck is Alex's knife?
Yeah, Shane.
Oh, bitch.
I was gonna say I think I know a buddy of mine that has some hookups to get us some connections with Millet Alex.
Give me his number.
I don't know about that.
I just want to talk to the guy.
I just want
I'm showing up to his house with like a hammer in my hand. Like what?
With the CRKT version.
He'll be like, "Yo, what's up?" Yeah, the CRK. Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
That's the thing?
Yes.
Whoa. You're waiting for that the cricket version, the little.
No, this is the higher end version, but the same knife they let CRKT make it. Same knife, just better.
Bro, I would cut my pinky off Harikari style and mail it to him. Put that in the show.
I feel like you've referenced that every episode, Steve.
Cutting my pinky off Harikari style?
Yeah, something Harikari style.
Because no, I'm sorry. Harikari is to the gut. I take it back home. I would cut my pinky off Yakuza style. The gang. Harikari is when you disembowel yourself. Yakuza is when they take the pinky off and you got to walk around without a pinky. That's what I would do. I'm sorry.
That's better.
I'm like a six-pack in. My brain's getting fuzzy. It was Yakuza. My apologies.
Yeah, that sounds much more pleasant, actually.
So
BJ.
this is a perfect example of when you get into the custom knife game, ladies and gentlemen, what you could potentially be dealing with.
Absolutely. Actually, I think you guys will be better off with a custom knife than Millet.
Fucking Millet. Yo, fuck you, Millet.
We're gonna bring Gerald back into the discussion for a second.
Just stropping his knife up there. Transformers. Like it's nothing. Just like la la la.
Yeah, Bama like 10 minutes ago was like, "Where'd G go?" I was like,
G's
he's getting the rest of his disguise.
Yeah, Lee, G's here.
He's sharpened at least like 6 or 7 knives this whole time.
Hey, dropping shit. Like who? Like, oh, can we do that? Can I do that now? Can I just sharpen knives on the live stream?
I mean, it's dropping. Yeah, it doesn't really make any noise. We're gonna bring you back into this discussion for a second, G. BJ asked, "What steel test can we be expecting from all of us?"
Oh God, I don't know. I got so many to do. I already did these. Didn't post them yet. I gotta be honest, man. I'm getting like Steve lately. I have footage of at least a dozen cut tests that have no intro and no ending.
Okay, real quick. Gerald didn't phrase that properly. Gerald says I'm getting to be like Steve because he knows that I'm very burnt out right now. When I do my cut tests, I post them within 30 minutes or however long it takes to load. I have absolutely zero backup cut tests. I am not nearly as smart as Gerald. Gerald has cut tests back. He has a backup. He can put them out. I make them, I upload them, and then I delete them off my phone. I'm about as Neanderthal as it gets. I am a basic bitch. I do not know how to store shit. I am sorry. I have a 204p and 20 CV neutron test coming up. And then I have an LMAX test coming up where I have Keys LMAX. And I have not one but two, just out of happenstance, two Fox those Fox knives and LMAX.
Nice.
What they called? We had two of them who came in. A buddy of mine asked me to sharpen his because it was dull, and then another guy asked me to reprofile his because he fucked the edge up like a brand new porn star. I mean, he fucked this thing up. I've never seen so many angles on one edge. It's ridiculous. So I have 3 knives in LMAX that I will be testing shortly.
How do you like that Neutron, Steve? I've heard both.
So the Neutron. All right, I put up some stuff on Instagram before the live feed. So the Neutron, I think, is a cool knife. It's very light. It's the finish on the blade is phenomenal. They got that kind of Chris Reeve stonewashy reflective thing going on. But I'll be honest with you, I do not see $180 in this knife, not by a long shot, not even close. First off, I mean, like I said, if you go watch my Instagram, Chef Kalari, the grind the edge bevel that came on this knife. This is like Spyderco. Like, it looked like the dude that did this had Tourette's or he had a stroke in the middle of it. Like one side was like, I don't know, 12 degrees. One side was like 24 degrees. It's so bad it put a recurve in the knife. I put a picture up of it, so I had to reprofile the whole thing. Somebody told me after I put that picture up that R.J. Martin himself apparently hand sharpens these or grinds these with a bell or whatever.
What?
That's what I was told. I was told that with these TRM Neutrons, these go to R.J. Martin's shop, and he puts the bevel on these.
R.J. Martin's part of that?
I don't know. I really hope that was misinformation, because if R.J. Martin did this, he needs to retire. He needs to go and start doing water paintings or something. I don't know what he needs to do, but whoever put an edge on this knife needs to just stop. Just stop. Just stop making. Just stop. I don't know what to say. It's a comfy knife. It's very light. This one's got micarta scales. Super light. I dig it. I dig everything about the knife. It's cool. It's well done. I think it's way overpriced, to be honest. I don't see where Shabazz was talking about this thing. I mean,
knife of the year is pretty much what he was saying.
Yeah, and real quick, I know a lot of guys. For some reason, guys think that I'm like the anti-Shabazz. I respect Nick Shabazz tremendously. I think Nick Shabazz and I have a lot more in common than a lot of people realize. Nick Shabazz will dig his feet in the sand and stand up for what he believes a lot, as will I. So I don't think we're all that different. But maybe his model was better than this one. I don't know. All I know is the blade on this knife is done really well. The rest of the knife is not. I do not see $180. If I paid $180 and this came to my thing, I would punt this thing like a soccer ball. I would late. I don't. And a lot of knife reviewers are talking about how slicey this knife is. I measured it on the edge with 15 degrees per side, and you're talking about, I think it was 23 thousandths.
I saw that.
That's a PM2.
Yeah.
That's nothing. Matter of fact, my Strider SMF was 24 thousandths behind the edge. So I don't get what guys are seeing as this thing. I think maybe it's deceptive because it's light. It's a very light knife. But I don't, yeah. I tell you what.
Oh, the wolf is back.
This Fox. So here you go. 2 knives in relatively the same very similar. Okay? The TRM Neutron. And here's what you got. This Fox, the Vanez, right? What's his name? Voxnez, right? Yes. He designed it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. This knife is 10 times the knife this is. This knife has a much a thinner ground blade. This one's a little bit thicker ground. But okay, here we go. I'll put them up. If you guys can see this, okay? Very similar in blade shape, right? Handle shape, everything. Both drop points, okay? You're looking at micarta and stainless steel. You're looking at contoured carbon fiber and titanium liner lock, okay? You're looking at, okay, LMAX versus 20 CV. And both these knives, here, I'll fire them at the same time. Okay? At a standard basic bitch pocket clip. you're looking at a milled titanium clip. These knives cost about the same. These knives are within like $5 of each other.
Wow.
This knife didn't get the Shabazz love. This knife did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I've never even seen this Fox knife. It just happened that two guys sent them to me in the same week. This Fox knife is 10 times a knife. I would buy this Fox knife over a pair of 3 in a heartbeat. The washers, the pivot, the blade, everything about this knife is a great. It's very ergo, awesome knife. The Neutron is cool for, I don't know, $120 maybe. It ain't no $180 knife. If you're looking for a Neutron, go buy one of these Vox knives. It's Vox, whatever it's called, the FX 528.
So I think I'm gonna kind of defend Nick here for a second because I in my mind don't doubt that his sample was probably a lot nicer than that knife that you have right there, Steve. Because at that point they weren't very popular, and then the Shabazz effect happened, and everyone wants one, so they're probably trying to rush to meet up with demand. And I think that they're letting some stuff slip by that they probably wouldn't normally.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I'm not doubting Nick or anything. Like, I'm not saying this is a bad example. Like, the grind with the edge bevel was fucked up. But I'm like, let's say that was perfect. Like, objective, right? It's a cool knife. It's cool.
Yeah.
And I bring this up because this literally came to me in the same week. I mean, I don't know if I can show you how similar these knives are.
They look very similar.
Very similar. And I'm telling you, this knife right here is a better knife than this one right here. The only thing that this knife here, I'll even measure it for you right here live. I don't even know what this is behind the edge, but all right. So the Fox knife is
It's an Italian knife, so it's probably gonna be thick.
Yeah, 27 thousandths behind the edge. So it's 5 thousandths behind the edge thicker. I mean, if that I'm just, again, this is why this is such a direct comparison, because I got these at the same time. This is a good knife. There's nothing wrong with it. It's very light. It's much lighter than this. But if you're talking, I grab this knife all day.
Yep.
All day long, every day of the week, not even thinking it. There's more that goes, you see what I'm saying? This is milled M3, or I'm sorry, milled carbon fiber. Can you see that?
It looks very nice.
Titanium backspacer, titanium clip. This is stainless steel and micarta with just a regular. And you guys can see this. Watch this. What about flex?
Yeah.
Micarta. You see that?
Whoa, yeah.
It's micarta. Not that it's like a rigidity thing. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying this knife is like unsafe. I'm just saying, dude, you want to talk about material costs?
Yeah.
This
It's tooling cost.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's tooling cost.
Yeah.
That's word to the knife nuts right there.
This knife is carbon fiber, Elmax, and titanium. This knife is micarta stainless steel and 20 CV. And they're the same price.
Right.
I thought this knife, I mean, again, I think it's a cool knife. I think it's just hella overpriced. I think this Fox knife, I don't know if anybody's even heard of it yet. I've never even seen one, but this knife is dope. This knife is really, really well built.
That's one I've always liked the look of.
Dude, when I'm telling, I can't even muscle play into this knife. It's got a carbonized, which is I've never seen before. They carbonized the blade tank.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yes, I've seen carbonized lock face, never carbonized blade tank, and both of them are like this. Both the ones that I have are like this. They both have a carbonized. Both have a carbonized blade tank, and they're just good. Like I don't, I don't know what to say. Like I just don't. This knife just kind of goes wah wah wah. Like like the micartas. What was that?
Fox has been producing some good stuff, doing a lot of stuff with Enzo too. There's that little Suru that's really good looking too.
Yes.
And then they even went out of their way to make that one. You can get it in full titanium, which is the one I prefer. But the one that G is showing off right there, that is a carbon fiber frame lock.
The Swiss cheese carbon fiber.
Yeah, it's good.
That's European market, is it not? How'd you get that?
I got this from my buddy Mike Galt, but he ordered it from Lamnia, and then he sold me this one, and he bought himself another one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's I think the carbon fiber one was European market only, if I remember right.
This thing is super light. I mean,
bet.
it's really only the blade weight of this thing, and that's it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's cool. You brought that out right when I was talking about it. The exact one I was going to talk about. And you know, how do you feel like the lock bar tension is on that thing?
Dude, they did a really good job on it. I mean, if you were blindfolded doing this, if you didn't know that it was carbon fiber, it feels like any other titanium frame lock as far as tension goes.
Yeah, because somebody tried to someone and another guy and I were having a discussion about this knife in particular, and you know, he was trying to tell me, oh well, you know, I don't know how is carbon fiber going to handle the stress over time, you know, using a frame lock. I'm like, bro, they use it on car parts, they use it on suspension parts. I mean, dude, I think there's
I go to drag races every year. They use it on 4,000 horsepower drag car drive shafts, okay?
Exactly.
It'll be fine.
Exactly. So that was pretty much my thing. I think I've seen carbon fiber leaf springs on cars too. You know, and if you can do a carbon fiber leaf spring, how can you not do a carbon fiber lock bar on a knife?
It's like the steel lock bar insert on a titanium frame lock. It's a made up problem. It's something that nobody has any actual experience with, but they just like, how many carbon fiber frame locks have you seen?
Zero.
That's the first one.
Zero. But all these guys want to come out and go, oh, I wonder how long it'll hold up to like you're like it's your only goddamn knife. Like you're gonna use that knife so hard and so much, you're even gonna test out that lock.
Well, yeah, plus look at the size of it. Like what kind of it's not meant for that kind of use. It's just supposed to be a little pocket knife.
Thank you, Alex. There we go.
I've edge retention tested this 3 times. It's on the 5th edge now. I've EDC'd it like crazy. I've used it for all kinds of things. It's fine. If you're worried about it and you're complaining about it, you never used it.
Exactly.
There we go. Alex has touched on something though. Intention, right?
Right.
The intended purpose of that knife.
What was that knife designed for? I mean, that's, you know, people think they're going to go and take this thing out and go, you know, like survive in the wilderness with like a little pocket folder. Cracks me up, you know.
Thank you so much, Alex. That's a huge, it makes me laugh. You know what I mean? Like guys, like intention. Like you look at a knife and look at its intention. It's not a goddamn, you're not going to be prying open doors with that thing. You know what I mean? Like,
it's the size of a Pilar, man. I mean, come on, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Like, I'm sure that already I've done more with mine than it was intended for, and it held up just fine.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, and that's the other thing is people talk about knives like they're supposed to be the one-all, be-all knife. You know, like one knife can do it all, and that's just, you know, so, oh, well, this one can do this, but it can't do that, you know, but I think of knives as, you know, they're tools. You know, one tool is good for one thing, especially, you know, Steve's going to tell you as a chef who uses knives, if you're using a knife, you don't use one knife for everything. There's a paring knife, there's a cleaver, there's, you know, there's tons of them. And there's variations of the same kind of knife for different tasks.
I was just gonna say it's almost like golf clubs. That's the analogy I came up with. You're not gonna use your putter off the first tee. What you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your driver. Just like I'm not gonna use my Anthem here to go baton a 2-foot wide log out back. I'm gonna grab a big fixed blade.
Unless you're advanced knife bro.
Yeah, he's just crazy.
He batons everything.
He'll baton anything. He'll baton that fiber knife.
Him and Woodland Tactical. I watched Woodland Tactical baton a slip joint.
Oh, that is awesome.
No, it's the truth though. Guys get really, and I say this with like Vinny Nero of Nero Knives. He's brought this up before. He made a good analogy. He's like, everyone can look at a sledgehammer and a finishing hammer and see that they're meant for two different things. But they look at a Delica and a Hinderer and they see the same knife. And it's so true. They're two different things meant for two different purposes. Like that carbon fiber. Well, I wonder if it's going to handle up to you. What use? Opening and closing it up and breaking some boxes? Like, you really think that the carbon fiber can't handle you pressing it? You think you get what I'm saying? Everybody wants every knife to be everything all at once, right? Everyone's so concerned, like infinite, like their lock bar is never wearing out, or the washer is never wearing out. Or meanwhile, 99% of the guys that do that are like all of us right here and have 30 goddamn knives they rotate, and might use that knife once every 3 weeks.
Exactly.
And it never gets that kind of use. You know what I mean? It's just like intention, guys. You know, this knife and this knife have different intentions.
Yep.
Very much so.
Very different intentions. You know what I mean? Just because you decided to open a paint can with your dragonfly and it busted doesn't mean it's the dragonfly's fault. You know what I mean?
All right, guys. I'm gonna butt in here. I gotta bug out. I gotta take my wife back to the hospital to see her dad. So I'm out of here.
I was just about ready to say we got to get wrapping this thing up. We're over 2 hours now.
All
That's
right.
it.
Yeah, this is short for Steve.
This is a cakewalk.
Well,
I think that's a good spot for us to end in general.
I guess I'm gonna agree.
All right. So if you guys enjoyed,
Before we go, I gotta mention David Vandersloot from the Sharp Spot. I got a notification like 15, 20 minutes ago from Facebook about my Transformer mask.
that's awesome. That is awesome.
Thanks, Gerald.
All right. I just want to say thank you to everyone that tuned into the stream because this was a lot of fun. I liked seeing all your comments. I know you three guys you couldn't see all the comments and stuff, but I've been paying attention, trying to respond to everybody. We've had like 6 to 9 live viewers for most of this, and 2 hours of listening to us 4 idiots ramble on is pretty darn cool. So,
Absolutely. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
yeah, definitely. Thank you all for tuning in. And if this is something that you guys would like to continue to see in the future, we will, continue to do that. Just let us know. You can DM any of us on Instagram. You can leave it. I'm going to put this up on YouTube so you can comment on YouTube and all that good stuff. So, anyhow, peace out. We'll see you guys next week for episode 5.
All right.
Yes.
Good night, guys.